First phase of Indian nationalism is one of the most important chapters in your ICSE. Make sure you grab your notebooks and watch the full video. Let's go. The first phase of the Indian national movement, also called the moderate phase from 1885 to 1905. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why the Indian National Congress was formed, what the moderates wanted, how they fought for it, and the contributions of three key leaders, Dadabhai Naoroji, Surendranath Banerjee, and Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So let's get started. In 1885, the INC was found largely on the initiative of Alan Octavian Hume, a retired British civil servant. The first session was held in Bombay, which was presided over by Vyomesh Chandra Banerjee. From 1885 to 1905, the Congress was led by a group of leaders whom we call or know as the moderates and early nationalists. These were educated English-speaking professionals like lawyers, teachers, journalists, etc., who genuinely believed in gradual, peaceful, and constitutional reform. They trusted that the British sense of justice would eventually give India a fair deal. Keep this idea of trust and patience in mind. This explains everything about how they worked. So, what exactly did the moderates want? Let's break it into 6 simple goals. Constitutional reform, that is, they wanted greater Indian representation in the legislative councils. Economic justice, that is, they wanted to stop the constant drain of India's wealth to Britain and reduce heavy land revenue and taxes. Civil and legal rights, that means separation of the judiciary from the executive and freedom of speech as well as of the press. Indianization of services, which meant they demanded that the Indian Civil Service exam also be held in India and not just in London, so that more Indians could qualify. National unity, that was building political awareness and uniting Indians across every region. And lastly, self-government within the empire. Now this is important. The moderates were not asking for full independence. Underline this. They wanted Swaraj or self-rule, but as part of the British Empire, trusting British justice to grant it. Now, how did they go about? Entirely through peaceful constitutional methods, they wanted to achieve these goals. They started writing petitions and memorandums to British officials in Parliament. They held public meetings and gave speeches to build awareness. They used the press, newspapers like Bengali, Hindu, Amrit Bazar Patrika, etc., to spread nationalist ideas. Now, every year they held a Congress session as a platform to pass resolutions. They even sent deputations to England to appeal directly to the British public and Parliament. In short, they placed their faith in British justice, believing that reasoned argument and patience would bring change. Later, critics mocked this as political mendicancy. Let's look at our first leader, that is Dadabhai Naoroji, also known as the Grand Old Man of India. He was a founding member of the Indian National Congress and served as its president 3 times in 1886, 1893 and 1906. In 1892, he became the first Indian elected to the British House of Commons, winning the Finsbury Central seat. He founded the East India Association in London in 1866 to place Indian grievances before the British public. But his biggest contribution was intellectual. In his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, published in 1901, he presented the famous drain of wealth theory, proving with data how Britain was systematically draining India's wealth. In 1906, at the Calcutta session, he was the first to use the word Swaraj. Next, we have Surendranath Banerjee. In 1876, he founded the Indian Association in Calcutta, one of the earliest political platforms which later merged with the Indian National Congress. He too started the newspaper The Bengali to spread his ideas. He led an agitation against the Ilbert Bill controversy in 1883 and later organized strong opposition to Lord Curzon's partition of Bengal in 1905, helping launch the Swadeshi movement. He also served as the president of Indian National Congress twice, that is in 1895 and 1902, and even campaigned to raise the age limit for the Indian Civil Service exam after he himself was unfairly dismissed from the service. Our third leader is Gopal Krishna Gokhale, often called as the political guru of Mahatma Gandhi. In 1905, he founded the Servants of India Society to train dedicated workers for the nation. As a member of the Imperial Legislative Council, he closely scrutinized the government's budget and pushed for free and compulsory primary education for Indian children. He presided over Indian National Congress Banaras session in 1905, and most famously, he deeply influenced and mentored a young soul that was Mahatma Gandhi. So, did the moderates succeed? On the positive side, they awakened political consciousness, secured the Indian Council's Act of 1892, and exposed British exploitation through the drain theory. But their methods were slow, their support base was limited to the educated elite, and they never demanded full independence, which left many Indians frustrated. Assertive's Nationalist will be uploaded at 5 p.m. today. Subscribe and be ready to master history.